It has been really boring in the markets lately. There's no denying that. So myself, I've been taking some time away from the markets. In fact, in the last week, I've not really even looked at my stocks and shares other than the occasional glance on a lunch break at work. And this is because really, there's not much else I can do at this point in time. My investments are down a significant amount, and that's okay. Sure, I may have made a mistake in the past. In fact, I admit that I made a mistake in the past regarding valuations. However, now I still think these companies are of a good quality, and therefore, so long as I'm maintaining an income, I should continue averaging down on these investments. Therefore, the biggest priority for me at the moment is maintaining an income. In fact, the stock market should really not be taking the front line whatsoever. And this is because really it's the initial upfront investment that you put in your time and energy with. And then ultimately you're just topping it up with capital and doing a little bit of light reading here and there. I mean, all you have to do is take a little look at the news in the last week, and you can just see really that there's a lot of disposals, a lot of sales, a lot of these things where, okay, companies are raising capital. Typically, overall, the sentiment seems quite negative. There's a lot of, fear in the media at the moment, and really, the best thing you can do is just tune it out. Does it impact your investment strategy? Okay, one of your investments is struggling. Review that case. But there's some people on YouTube at the moment that are just sat constantly. All they do at the moment is just stare at the stock market. It's like, get a life. You're being a dork. Like, there are other things to this world than just the stock market. And that's certainly something that I'm doing at the moment. In fact, since I'm not really looking at the stock market, I found that I've got a lot more time to be doing other things. I'm going to the gym 5 times a week and I'm seeing significant progress. I'm going out on a couple of dates here and there and I'm being a bit more social. And you might go, well, that's not very frugal of you to be going out all the time. Why aren't you saving and investing all your money? Well, realistically, it's about also experiences, and really that money is a greater investment in my mental health than it is likely in the portfolio. That said, I'm not really spending that much in general. It's not like I have to spend much, especially when you have a motorcycle, and especially if that of a smaller caliber. Effectively, you're paying £15 for a load of fun and you could drive around for a week. It's really not that bad at all. That said, yes, the markets are down. Sentiment is negative. But ultimately, I think this is just a time to keep buying. You should really be focusing at the moment on getting your income higher. Is it a stable stream of income? Okay. What can you do to improve that income? Can you get more money out of your current job? Are you able to develop a side hustle with some of your spare time? Are you able to start obviously selling conkers for some reason? You might decide that you're going to start knitting little jumpers for conkers and people are going to start buying them. You don't know this until you try it, I guess, and you might be a master at knitting these little jumpers for conkers, right? And this could be a very lucrative side hustle business. And in this regard, you can then use that capital that you've raised from that business. If you can't reinvest it back in yourself, that side hustle itself, then you can reinvest it into the stock market and see your overall returns hopefully be better over the longer term. And that's truly the beauty of it. So to sit here scrutinizing the stock market every second saying, oh, I should have bought this, oh, you should have done this, oh, you should have done that, it doesn't even matter when it's zoned out. It really doesn't. Now, there's going to be one person, I guarantee it, in the comments, it's going to be like, the only reason you're zoned out the market is because actually you're down 50% at the moment, and that's why you're just trying to deny your losses. And I'm not even going to argue. Like, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I'm not concerned. I'm completely aware. Hell, I have a YouTube channel where I frequently talk about the fact that I am down on my investments. If I was so insecure or so worried or so stressed about it, then it's very likely I'd just stop making YouTube videos in general. Or, it just wouldn't matter. Otherwise, instead, I'm going here and I'm talking about it frequently. It kind of counters that point entirely. It's like, why would I sit myself here and say, hey, look, I'm down 50%. And then you got these people that also jump in and they're like, yeah, you're down 50%, you suck. You don't realize that it's actually truly a privilege, right? The idea here that you're able to see my entire investment portfolio transparent every single week. I'm not hiding my balances. I'm not hiding any of my investments. And you can see exactly my mindset through doing this. Yet there's still so much negativity at the moment. It's no wonder I'm just typically zoning it out. In fact, I used to respond to every single comment in the YouTube section. Now, I read them occasionally now. I can't really keep up with all of them. I know the names that pop up, like the ones that are the regulars, the ones that usually have a very cool viewpoint or something that I'm interested in. And I'll always read their comments. But there are some people I've just absolutely drained out because they just don't add any value to life. All they do is they try and create problems, and instead of saying, okay, look, this is a problem and here's the solution, they're just going, this is a problem this is a problem, I'm going to continue moaning about this problem, and you're just going to be sucked into all that negative energy. Ultimately, as I say, focus on increasing your streams of income. Build up cash capital buffers so that you have cash in the event of an emergency. The rest of that money should be reinvested cleverly. You may decide to invest it in yourself by reading books and doing what you may prefer. Or you may say, okay, actually, I've got a small business model here via YouTube. I'm going to spend $2,000 on this fancy backdrop, and maybe it will attract a larger audience. At that point, I might see a greater growth from my YouTube channel than I would from the stock market, and perhaps that's where the capital should go first. And so when we actually look at my portfolio for the last week, I'm down 1.46%. It's not really much at all. Overall, I'm down 48.3%. My total portfolio value was doing quite well, although Boohoo has seemed to have slumped lately. That's okay, that's fine. Nothing really has changed fundamentally with the business, and I'm still really slowly reading through Games Workshop's annual report that was released about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Again, it's not really been that much of a priority for me at the moment. I'm taking a much more laid-back approach. Now, I know obviously before I was very much scrutinizing the market regularly, really looking deep into it, but at the moment there's no real need to do that. I don't gain anything really other than some more knowledge towards the stock market by scrutinizing the current media or the current news. Yes, don't get me wrong, there's a lot to learn in the stock market at the moment. I don't deny that. And in that regard, you'd want to be reading some investment books of a kind, which at the moment I'm currently not doing. As I say, I think at the moment the best thing I can do is just relax, focus on other areas, and hopefully this one will build up over time. The fun fact of the week is that the oldest surviving complete musical composition, including musical notation, from anywhere in the world is Sikalov Epitaph, and I can't say that at all. But you are able to listen to this online on YouTube, so do definitely go check it out. I thought it was quite interesting considering how long ago this was created, and this is either from the 1st or 2nd century CE. So that is something to keep a note of. Go check it out. It's a pretty good piece. It's not obviously played by the original musicians, although I did hope so. I did jump in my TARDIS and have a little watch myself. It was a great gig. It was a fantastic night, although there were too many people off their face on drugs in 100 BC. It just wasn't really a good vibe. Have a fantastic weekend.